onto the grid now for the hot hatchback scramble. John Morris is in pole position, alongside him Phil White, and on the outside of the front row, Brian Cox. Graham Coombs with the camera in his car is on the inside of the third row. Alongside him is Terry Stone in the Toyota Corolla Coupe, the first non-Volkswagen. Graham looks like he's in 5th place there, coming up alongside John Morris. John's very late on the brakes and moves across ahead of him. Wild Bill Stillwell ranging up on the outside there. And he'll hold the inside line for Graham Hill Bend. Sneak ahead of Graham, there he goes. Back in car with Graham now, and there's Bill Stillwell. They rush towards Surtees now for the turn into the country. Graham's left a gap, and Nick Bourne's not slow to seize the opportunity to slip through, and he takes Wild Bill Stillwell as well. Down the long straight now. Graham's back to about 7th place now. That was a bit of a shuffle. There's a car pulling alongside, and Terry Stone goes through on the inside. Graham's been put off his stride and has been assaulted from every side. 2 cornering side by side. Graham getting a real good view in Terry's mirror. They're still side by side. Now he's got the inside line and he should be able to pull ahead. Chasing after Bill Stillwell now. Through the new section at Brands. Down towards Clearways they go. Long file of cars under the pedestrian bridge. Nose to tail. Bill Stillwell doing very well in the elderly Fiat to keep up with all these Volkswagens. Brian Cox leading. Phil White right behind him challenging. Here comes Bill Stillwell in the black and yellow Fiat with Graham in the camera car right behind him. There's a spinner, and there's several spinners in fact. Bit of a tangle. Graham Coombs now challenging Bill Stillwell and getting through. Can he stay ahead? No, Bill Stillwell fights back. Graham's there in the blue and white car with Roger Jones on the inside, and they're 3 abreast. And there's a puff of smoke as they touch, and Graham's nudged into a spin. That's bad luck. Field streams through. That's a lot of hard work down the drain. He's even dropped behind the Class D leading Suzuki Swift of Alistair Davidson, and he's got a lot of places to make up now. Just relocating the dash there. Closing on Alistair Davidson, he should be able to pass that car fairly easily. So momentum takes him past there, and onto the tail of several Golfs. A tight bunch ahead there. There's Carlos Maidana immediately ahead of him. A newcomer, as you can see by the yellow cross on the back of the car. But he's doing pretty well by the look of things. Not making it easy for Graham. Almost touching. Graham pulls up alongside. And I'd expect him to go ahead here, but he doesn't. Carlos Maidana holds the line. He's just braking very late and goes a bit wide, and Graham sneaks through on the inside. Field comes through. Brian Cox still ahead. Phil White challenging, but not. John Morris is right there as well. Phil White coming up on the inside and finds a way past. That was a very outrageous manoeuvre, that. But he's made it. He's got away with it. And John Morris has taken advantage of that. He's snuck past Brian Cox. Brian Cox down to 3rd now. Whoops, that's Alistair Davidson. He's got himself into a scrape somewhere. sees Guy Povey in the lead in Class D. Sean Andrews and Tim Busby fighting over second place in Class D. That class also dominated by one mate, that's the Suzuki Swift. Back with Graham Coombs now as he struggles to make up those lost places. Chasing Mark St. John Taylor there and pulling alongside. St. John Taylor shuts the door, but Graham Coombs is already alongside. It's too late. He's through. After Roger Jones now. Remember, Roger's the one that he touched with. That's David Oates just ahead of Roger Jones. And Graham seems to be closing on them as they turn into clearways. Graham using all the road there, along the straight now, under the start line gantry, and up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Braking hard, turning in, clipping the apex and using all the road right out to the rumble strip. Braking hard for Druids. Roger Jones passing David Oates there, those two fighting. And Graham Coombs getting a grandstand view and closing. Braking very late, turning in to Surtees. And he's almost within striking distance now. Slipstreaming up the long straight here at Brands Hatch. Braking for Hawthorn's very quick corner this. And they lap the surprising Skoda yet again. Graham's right behind Dave Oates now, taking a look down the inside and going through. That's a good move. There you can see the familiar side of Bill Stillwell up ahead now. And Graham's caught up a lot of ground. Here comes our camera car with Graham Coombs. That bunch just ahead of him. Phil White taking his turn to lead. John Morris looking down the inside and going through. Phil braked a little bit late there. You saw the puff of smoke and John was through. Up the hill towards Druids. Phil White on the inside looking to go through. And he does. This is great stuff. These four in a very tight bunch. And we're back with Graham Coombs. Bill Stillwell and Roger Jones side by side. Three abreast now as they head towards Druids. Spectacular stuff. Goes through Graham Coombs. Holds the advantage. Very good driving from Graham. Closing on Terry Stone now. This is a good drive from Graham Coombs, making up a lot of places after his earlier spin. He's almost back where he started. Oops, gauge is falling out again, another adjustment. John Morris leads another lap. Phil White looking down the outside, can't make it there. Up the hill towards Druids. John Morris in command. What can Phil White do here? Not much right there. Graham Coombs closing on David Kay. Roger Jones still stuck to his boot lid. There's David Kay just ahead of Graham Coombs now. Looking for the inside line. David Kay's aware of that one, moves across. Forces Graham Coombs to go around the outside. Almost lets Roger Jones alongside. And he does, and Roger Jones gets alongside and a bit of a nudge. A bit of natural justice there maybe. 1 lap to go now. And John Morris is still just ahead of Phil White. Phil trying desperately to find a way through there. David Kay crosses the line and Graham Coombs comes alongside. David Kay cuts him out again as they go up towards Druids. Very close racing this. Graham's got a good run down the hill now. Can his momentum take him past? He's getting alongside David Kay now. Leaving his brake to the last possible moment. And he's made it. Climbs the hill now. Oh, gets on the rumble strip. Gets sideways. On the grass. Nearly hits the Armco. And there goes Roger Jones through. That's another adventure. John Morris approaching the finishing line with Phil White just behind. And he crosses the line to win with Phil White second, Brian Cox third, Andy Middlehurst fourth, Roger Jones fifth, and Graham Coombs fighting back to a splendid sixth place. We spoke to the winner.
I think it was one of the best races I've had for many, many years. Definitely in the Uniroyal, without a shadow of doubt, and most certainly the best ever at Brands Hatch.
We always see you out there dicing for the lead and fighting to get further and further ahead. This is the first time you've actually been out in pole and stayed there for the whole 20 laps. That's a long time to actually maintain that lead.
I think I held the lead for 18 of the 20 laps. I think Phil had it twice actually in the middle of the race, but you're right. Normally I tend to manage to put one quick lap in and then throw it into the weeds or whatever, but this week it stayed together and it was super.
And is this going to be a recurring event?
Well, it won't be the lack of trying if it's not, but I'll be presumptuous to say that it was. I think you've got to take each and every race on its own merits, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens in a month's time now at Silverstone.